Now what we have here is exercise 13. And we're sort of going to do this one, and I want you to think about how this is like the function raw input you used. Now I'm going to type this one in, but the important part of this exercise is how you run it. This is what trips everyone up, so I'm going to actually run this after I type it in. So let me type it in really quick. All right, very easy. But there's some odd things in this. Again, I'm going to have you trust me. We need this, but I'm not going to explain it to you. It's sort of a way to add a feature. Let's just say we're going to add the argument vector feature. And that's programmer speak for something I'm going to show you in a second. This here is how we unpack the argument vector. Again, doesn't make a lot of sense until I show you, so just bear with me. And then we have printing out the variables. This is simple. You've done this a billion times. There is nothing here. In fact, ignore that part. The important part is line 3. Now let me run it, but there's a special way to run it. So let me look at the book. See there how I have to run it with 3 command line options. Now you should be familiar with the command line already. If not, go to the appendix that has the command line crash course and go through that first. If you were lazy and you didn't make yourself learn the command line, well, you're going to have a problem at this point in the book. Now, what the argument vector here does is it allows me to pass in these arguments. It's a way for me to ask Python, hey, give me the command line arguments that person typed in. And we tell Python, I want the argument vector from the system module. Now that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's fine. Just trust me, type that in. We're just going to play with that for a while. This means when I run exercise 13, I can't do this. Okay, this is wrong. Everyone hits that and they get that as an error and they don't know what's going on. Well, you have to pay attention. Remember, attention to details is an important part of learning to code. You've seen me throughout these videos make a few mistakes here and there because I wasn't paying attention. This is exactly the same thing. I'm telling you, type 3 words after it. That means you type 3 words after it. So going back, if I don't type 3 words after it, I get this very obtuse error message. It's a weird error message. Doesn't make any sense. That error message is saying, hey, I need more than 1 command line argument. So, once I type in an extra command line argument, the 3 extra command line arguments, it works. Very simple. Now there's a connection between making a script that takes arguments and making a function that takes arguments. Now you've used a function that takes arguments with the raw input, and you've used scripts and command line tools already that take arguments, so they're kind of like functions. And now you've just made your own command line tool that takes command line arguments, so it's kind of like a function. Think about that for a bit. Make sure you do the student study drills and look at the common student questions. There's a lot of questions people have on this one. And I'll see you on exercise 14.